All right, how's that? Testing, testing. One, two, three, four. Can you hear it now? Okay. All right, it's on. Good deal. Okay. Listen. Anyway, before I get started, I want to, get into the specifics of what it's like right here. Right now, uh, the dollar is 33.80, and I'm just going to keep it here. Hopefully, you can hear me. The air quality index is 110, and that's not good. That is unhealthy for sensitive individuals. That's how they put it. So, it's something to think about if you're going out, something to remember. The temperature is 81 degrees, high of 91, low of 76. The feel like temperature is 87, and the humidity is 84%, which is obviously it's humid here, which you would expect. All right. Hopefully, this will continue to work. All right. All right. Hopefully, that will stay on. Yeah. Okay. 84% humidity. It's very humid here, like it always is. The temperature's not too bad, but it's kind of muggy out. And just about every time that in the last couple of months, all right, in the last couple of months, it's always been like this. It's always muggy, and the temperature. It's not like, oh, it's 115 degrees. That's not what happens. Um, but the humidity is what makes things really hot here. And then if the temperature goes up, then forget about it. Fire dude, how you doing? Yesterday morning was really cool in Ossock area. I went to jog. Oh, that's good. Where do you go to? What's it? Benjikit Park, the park next to. I hope you got my message on Instagram, Charles. Um, the park next to, not, is it M Courtier? Yeah, M Courtier. No, 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 no. Can't even remember. Not Siam Paragon. What's the one across from? I can't even. I don't know why I'm blanking out today, which doesn't surprise me. But let me see here. No, it's not M Courtier. I don't know what is the one across from M Courtier. I can't remember. I'm blanking out. Emporium. Thank you. Emporium. There's a park right next to it. And then there's also next to, in Aso, I think it's Benjikit Park. I think it's behind M. Courtier and a little bit over. I'm loving it up here on the farm. 24 with a nice breeze is beautiful. Okay. All right. So, like I said, I want to talk about this guy. His name is Fred Bundy. He doesn't have many subscribers, but he's a young guy. He seems smart. He says he has 2 master's degree, which, okay, good for you. Um, very impressive. Uh, and he says he speaks really good Thai. And he says he trusts his Thai is better than 99% of foreigners and all this other kind of stuff. Okay, fine. I'm not gonna. I don't have any problems with that. You learn how to speak Thai. You learn how to speak Thai. I learned how to speak Thai without any really formal training, and then I got some formal training. And naturally, I'm going back soon. Probably in the next 3 months or so, 2, 3 months, I'm going to go back to school and try to get to where like I graduate high school with my language skills. That's what I want to do. That way, I can say I'm not upper intermediate. I am, I speak just like a Thai or as close to a Thai as can get. So that's something, But anyway, guy seems like a nice guy. But he did say, "Oh, I think these older expats they hate the younger expats," and I don't know. I think some of them probably do, but I think the vast majority couldn't give 2 shits about everybody else. I mean, like me. I mean, I'm just commenting on it because I kind of want to get some feedback from other people because I want to get it out there. I don't think this is really the case. I think the vast majority of uh, older people, by older I mean from about 50 to whatever, 50 and up. And I just want to address some of the things that he said. I was 32 when I moved here. And let me tell you something. Before I came to Thailand, and I am not bragging, believe me, I had my fair share of girlfriends and, 1 week love affairs and that kind of stuff. I had more than most people because back then I had hair. I was a lot thinner. I was better. I was in fit. I was young, right? And I didn't have any problem really with women. There were some women who were like, nah, I don't think so, not my style. And there were some women, oh, he's cute. I never got, oh, he's so handsome. Oh my God, he's so handsome. I never got that. All right, I'll just be honest. And when I came to Thailand, I really thought, hey, I know a lot about women. That's what I kind of thought. Now, obviously, Thai women are different than um, Western women. 35 when I moved here. We don't hate younger expats. We hate the insufferable Instagrammers walking around Thailand like they're absolute experts. Now, that's kind of true. Because, anybody can go online and research a place to go. I mean, because I know, because sometimes I do it. You research a place to go, and you go there, and then you go, oh, yeah, this is about this, and I know all about this. When really, I would say that most people who have been here for, say, a year or two, they are only scratching the surface. When you've been here for like 2, 3 years, you start to really understand the culture a bit. But I mean, some people do, some people don't. I know people that I used to see a guy, and every time I saw him, he was carrying a book on how to learn to write and read and write in Thai. And I thought, wow, this guy's dedicated. And I thought, okay, great, good for him. I don't look at him and go, oh my God, that guy's carrying a book around. What an asshole. I mean, what's the point of that? You know. So, there are some people who do and some people I don't. Now, when I came to Thailand. I mean, if I wanted a quick little roll in the hay, sometimes there were girls around that they were just regular girls. They were just some chick working in an office or working in cosmetics or selling perfume or whatever it was. And I had my fun with them. I had, I don't know what it was, but we had fun. We had a good time, and I didn't pay them. And some girls, you would think they were for pay, and every once in a while, one would go, don't worry about it. I mean, I had a couple of girls, they just wanted to stay with someone. They didn't want to be lonely. They didn't want to stay in their little apartment alone. And so they were like, oh, can I stay with you? It's a little far to go back. And I was like, yeah, of course, no problem. So that happened. I'm not saying I didn't engage in pay for play. I did. Because if you don't have a girl around, good morning, Dowlo. If you don't have a girl around and you want a little something, and back when I was younger, I always wanted it, then sometimes I just went to the massage parlor, I went to a bar, whatever, had a good time, and I never got caught up in this, oh, you shouldn't do that, or oh my God, morally it's wrong. I never got caught up in that. I just look at it like I'm going to go have some fun. And if a girl wants to be with me, she wants to be with me. And if I got to pay her, that's fine. Whatever. No problem. Right? Now, could I go out now and get girls in the bar to go with me for free? I doubt it. First of all, they are more mercenary now than they used to be. When I first came over here, the girl would go with you. And I mean, I remember taking 2 girls, it was 1,000 baht. And they would clean up your room. They'd give you a shower. They'd give you, depends. If you're with one, they might give you a massage. And then, you get down to business. You have your fun. She cleans up your room, makes sure it's nice and clean. And then she takes off. And she's happy. She gets 500 baht, 1,000 baht. Yeah, you give her like a 200 baht tip. And she's thrilled. So I didn't think of it in the same way as some guys did, because I don't really care what everybody else wants to impose on me. My morals are my morals. I know I'm not a bad person. And, it wasn't like I were forcing girls, oh, you've got to go with me. You must go with me. And then I didn't pay them or something like that. I never did any of that. Now, I got married at, I think it was 36. My wife was 21. I never, ever paid my wife. Now, I remember asking her, do you need some money? And she said, why do I need money? I have my own money. And she used to get some money from her mother, and she also had a loan from the university. So she was fine. And she worked. So she had money. And I just remember the one time I just jammed 100 baht in her pocket. I said, take this for the taxi, all right? I'm a gentleman. I'll pay you for your taxi. And she just shook her head. But she took the money. But she just shook her head and she goes, I don't care about that. And as it's come about, she doesn't care about money. Now, it's not, oh, it's just my wife. There's lots and lots of Thai girls that they don't want you just for your money. Now, this guy says, oh, well, you don't need to have a lot of money in Thailand. No, you don't. I've had girls that paid for me. Not like, it's not like they were my sugar mama and, they were just taking care of me and giving me everything I want. I mean, I had that a little bit, but, I went out with a girl for 3 months. I never spent a dime on her. She spent all the money on me. And I was like, let me pay. No, it's okay. It's okay. And I think she didn't want me to think that she only wanted me for money. Now, the relationship didn't work out, but, that's neither here nor there. Um, you know, when I went out with my wife and I decided, oh, that she's the one, I just thought to myself, she doesn't want money. She's smart. She's getting her degree. I like the way she looks. And, that was fine. Now, for the first 10 years that we were married, I was the main breadwinner. I worked as a journalist and I worked uh, in the boxing industry. I was like I don't know, you could say matchmaker, but I was also the coordinator. I was also assistant trainer. I did all kinds of things. And I made good money. And when we first had our kids, I said, you don't have to work. Take care of the kids. Now, once the kids started going to school, and I've talked about this before, once they started going to school, she wanted to start working. She's like, listen, I got a degree. I wanna do something with it. I said, okay, I guess so. Fine. What am I going to do? No, you can't go to work because I want you to stay home and, clean the house. No. But like what this guy says is, you don't have to be with a woman who only wants you for your money. Now, some guys who are older, what I would say is some of them don't want the hassle of having a girl. And they're older. So maybe they're set in their ways and they're like, I just don't want to deal with some chick giving me a hard time, busting my balls all the time. So, when it comes to that, I mean, really, I couldn't care less about a chick selling her ass in a bar. And if something happened to my wife and I was single, like this day, I don't think that I would probably get married again. Now, I say that, maybe I would, I don't know. But do I really think that that would happen? No, because I would have certain expectations and it would be hard for a woman to meet those expectations. And not only that, I'm set in my ways. Maybe she doesn't want me. And as far as bar girls go, bar girls are usually headaches. And that's why if you want a girl long term, you don't go with a bar girl. And that's why I've said the golden rule is don't get emotionally involved with bar girls. Just don't. You want to go out and bang them once in a while? Hey, have fun. No problem. You know. Listen, I do have, where's it at? I don't see it here. What happened? I have the goal. What happened to it? Where did it go? I have the goal set today for 5 super chats, which I had the other day, and I hit 3, but there were some other super chats I got that for some reason the system didn't count it. I don't know why or why not, but supposedly I've got the goal up today in this live stream. Oh, there we go. Here it is right here. Here's the goal. Yeah. All right. So there you go. So that's that. So don't forget about that. Oh, I forgot to announce we are pregnant with twin boys. Holy sheep shit fire, dude. These are your first kids? That's congratulations. That's great. We are pregnant. I hate to say it, but you are not pregnant. She's pregnant. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Once you have the kids, it's a different stage of life and different set of priorities, different set of responsibilities, and you will your wife, you're going to have to talk to your wife about, hey, listen, I know the kids are going to be important. And with twins, you got a ready-made family right there. It's not like you got a little baby laying there. You got 2 of them. So, but you're going to have a talk with her and go, just don't forget me. Just don't only concentrate on the kids. And, she goes to bed at 11:30 because that's when she gets the kids down. And then she's, oh, I'm so tired. I want to go to sleep. Don't let them do that. You need to make your wishes clear, because I would say some Thai women forget about that. I did that in the beginning with my wife. I said, listen, I know I'm not going to be number one because they are a priority. I said, but just don't forget about me. You better always make time for me. Don't have me outside the circle. You're in the inner circle. You're all there together. That's why you're a family. And Thai women especially sometimes can forget this. You know, so that's that. But for the first couple of years, it won't be all that hard, except for the crying at night and that kind of stuff. Once they get walking around and they're like 7, 8 years old, then that's when all the fun starts. That's what I would say. So yeah, there you go. Let me get back to this here. But I think that's great, actually. And twins, you kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. Um, if you're gonna try to find a regular woman, you know, you want to find a girl who she's fun and you're attracted to, but she has a job and she has a future. And she does not always need to go to you and go, I need money. Shit, sometimes now I go to my wife and I go, I don't really have any cash right now. I'm waiting for my transfer. Can you give me 1,000 baht? Yeah, okay. Sometimes I go to Alex. Hey, give me 500 baht. I'll give it back to you later today. Okay. You know, if you're in a relationship and it's a solid relationship, you don't have to worry about the financial aspect. What you need to do is do your best so that you are contributing always. If you're not contributing, then it better be for a short time only. But, I think when guys get older, they don't really need to have a woman around who's going to be, family, and who's going to take care of the babies and the kids when you're around, and you're all going to sit at the dinner table. And I think once guys get older and they're over here, I think what they tend to do is they tend to just forget about that because they're with themselves. And if they don't have somebody, they're just like, yeah, whatever. And then I need to get laid. Okay, I'm going to go to this massage parlor down the street. And if they like the girl, then maybe they'll go back again and ask for the same girl. Try to find one that has a good relationship with her dad, and hopefully both parents are married. Yeah, well, that's something else. I don't even think about that. But yeah, you want them to have a good family, a good, strong family, so that it translates over into her, who, if she has a good relationship with her father and she's got a full family, she's got a mother and father, she's less apt to just go, well, I don't want to, I don't want to do anything. I'm just going to break up because I don't feel like being a wife now. And that's how some girls think. And I'm not just talking about Thai women, all women. And I've been fortunate because sometimes I think, oh, my wife's going to be pissed at me. Oh, she's going to be so pissed. And then I'm like, wow, I hope she doesn't tell me to bugger off, Get out of here. I'm tired of, dealing with this shit. She's never like that. Ever. You know. All right, let me go back into this here. It's okay if you want to say something in the chat. Please feel free to comment. I think that's important that we interact. There's only, I think, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. Good morning, Dowlow. 4 people who've been talking in the chat. That's it. Some days you got, 50, 60 people, and some days you got 25 and nobody's talking. Okay, I'll comment. Well, thank you very much for commenting. That's good. one thing that kind of struck me as a little bit strange is this guy saying older expats cannot accept that the younger generation does it better. I had to laugh. First of all, what do they do better? Okay, listen, I'm 62 years old. I'll give in and say somebody in their 20s, they got a girl they really like, and the girl really likes them. And maybe they might be banging 20 times a week, and I don't do that anymore. I don't want to. I don't need to. But I get mine when I need it. So in that regard, okay, yeah, okay. I don't know if that's better. That's just different. Now, maybe some of the younger Farang who are motivated are doing things, and it makes them think that they're better than some old guy who's out in the village. Maybe that's what the old guy wants. He wants to be. Look at Jim. Jim is not that old. I forget how old he is. I wish he was here. He's not that old, but he is out in a village, and he works on his koi pond. He spends time with his wife. They go places as a family, and that makes him happy. He's fine. He doesn't give two shits about this guy. He couldn't care less. Jono couldn't care less. Jono barely comes on the internet anymore. He barely watches YouTube and two quarters Korean. I mean, he's a guy who's always used to be on the internet. He's not anymore because he's sleeping in until 11 o'clock in the morning. So the priorities of older people are different than younger people. It's not that they're not better. First of all, older people generally have more money than younger people. You know, I mean, when I was young, I didn't have, well, I mean, there was a couple times when I had some money, when I was making good money. But I don't have the things that I have now, and financially, forget about it. I'm nowhere near, I'm far and away better off than I was when I was, 25. So you can't, to me, that's why I said it strikes me as a bit strange. Um, and older guys, they want slightly older women. They don't want a 20-year-old. When you're 25, you get a 22-year-old. You're like, yeah, hey, this is what it's all about, right? Now, maybe an older guy wants a 22-year-old like to have sex with, but they don't want them for any kind of relationship because they're usually not mature and they're in different times of their lives. So, you know, when you're 55 or 60, they don't want some 24-year-old. And if they do, it's only for screwing. That's about it. Guy's 60 years old. Just like in the last video I put up about Vietnam at the tailor, we were talking. I was giving my buddy Ted some shit because he's 63. He's not married. He's never been married. He's had girlfriends. He gets women. But I say to him, no, you're getting older. You're not going to be able to pull those little 22-year-olds anymore, buddy. And while we were in the tailor, I said to him, yeah, get yourself a nice 50, 60-year-old. He's like, no, 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 no. No, no, no. And the woman working in the tailor said, no, for him, about 38, 40, maybe 45. And he's like, yeah, 38, 40, that's about right. So older men don't want these younger women for anything other than to get a piece of ass. Now, maybe you're getting a piece of ass from these young girls. That's all you want. Good for you. I don't hate on you for it. Why should I? I got my own life. I'm happy with my life, as a lot of other expats are happy. And that brings me to another point where, I got some message the other day. I don't think the guy even watched the video, right? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me see here. God, I don't know where it is. Well, I don't know which video it was. Maybe the guy, he pulled it down. I don't know. But he said, if you don't like Thailand, then go home. I'm like, what did I say in that? It was a stream. I said, what did I say in that stream? You didn't even watch the freaking stream. You didn't watch any of it. Because I think I made myself clear. The thing that I stress all the time is that Thailand is not perfect. It's not perfect. There are some things that are negatives about Thailand. However, that doesn't mean I need to go home. I'm not allowed to talk about it. Say what? I can say whatever I want, first of all. Second of all, I think the positives, as I said the other day, the positives far outweigh the negatives. And thus, that's why I stay here. I also stay here because I have a family here. And I think, not only do I think to myself, wow, if I leave, okay, I can go to Ecuador. Oh, I can go to Mexico. I can go to Costa Rica. I can just jet around and go to different places. Wow. I don't think that. I think, what is the best place for my family? Yeah, maybe I would like to do some things, but I understand. I got a family. I got to make sure that everybody's doing what they want to do and they are in the place where they want to be. That's all. So for me, it doesn't really matter. I mean, like, listen, I'd go anywhere, just about anywhere. As long as I thought it was halfway decent, I would go there. I wouldn't go to like live in Iran, or North Korea. I'm not going to do that. Hey, listen, you got 27 people here. We got 7 thumbs up. Do me a favor. Smash the like button. Hit the like button. If you like this video, what we're talking about, if you like the videos that I put up every week, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Click the notification bell. Look down in the description. There's a number of ways you can help support the channel. If you're on a TV, it's I've got SuperChat. I've got, which you can just go right through here. And now I think in Thailand you can use SuperChat, which is wild because you couldn't use it before. And whatever. Okay, we got SuperChat. We got buy me a coffee. I got Patreon. I got what is it? CASHAPP. I got all these things. You can go to my website, AnAmericanInBangkok.com, and you can find everything there as well. But the point is, everything's in the description. Older guys eat the punani better. Well, that may or may not be true. I mean, honestly, think about it. Some guy who's 24, who's, he's been banging chicks since he was 16, and he's, listen, to me, I look at it, yeah, things are different now. Girls are a lot more promiscuous now. They were promiscuous when I was younger, but they seem to be a lot more promiscuous now, at least in Thailand. In the United States, forget about it. All this Instagram shit. You got all these women, they're showing their bodies. And listen, I get messages from these chicks, and I get followed by some of these Instagram chicks. Oh, I love your channel. Oh, I love you. Oh, you're so great. And I'm like, yeah, sure you do. You love me because maybe you think I got money. I don't care. What does it matter if honestly, if you think about something this way, first of all, think 2 things. You see a great looking woman. You can admire her and say, oh, wow, what a nice looking girl. Now, then you look at her character. What kind of character does she have? Is she a twat? Has she got a nasty attitude? And then, the last thing, just think of her sitting on the toilet taking a dump. She's just like everybody else, except maybe she's sitting on a better toilet. But you don't have to get enamored by her, put her on her pedestal and go, oh my God. Oh, these young guys got things going on. I don't know. Hopefully it's working. Let's see here. Yeah, the green light's on. God damn it. You know, I get these mics and I think things are better. And now, you know, I'm having a problem when you plug it in and you connect to the mic. Yeah, sounds okay to me. Okay, good. I like to hear that. Anyway, you know, the skill level of a particular guy or particular girl, you know, I mean, I don't want some girl who you go, I mean, I've had these, and, you know, if you want them just for the sex, that's a different story. But if you want a woman to be with, you don't want some woman who's got 100 guys, 200 guys, 1,000 guys she slept with. Then you're nothing. You are just some other guy who takes your place in line. That's it. Now, if you just want a banger, that might be a different story. But anyway, let me go on here. Oh, I know what I was going to say. When I lived in Palm Desert, I had a couple of guys that I ran with. Fire dude, thank you. The future fire twins. Wish you the best. So you're naming one of them Scott, right? Yes. What an honor that would be. And if her name, if she's female, well, it's twin boys. You already know what it is. So one of them's got to be Scott. Oh yeah. So I had a couple of guys that I ran with, and like when I say ran with, you know, I used to go out with them, and I'd hang out with them at their house, and I'd go to bars with them, go to restaurants. There was one guy, and he was only about, God, back then I don't know how old he might have been 21, and I might have been 29, 30, and we'd go out to the clubs, and you know, he always got women who were 20 to 22. Now, me, in America, those girls were not looking at me. They didn't want me. But if they were 28, 29, 30, 35, they didn't want him. They thought he's a little boy. So we never crossed, you know, we didn't get into that situation where we were crossing paths with women. He wanted certain women, I wanted certain women. They were never the two should touch. So that's an old and younger thing. And I wasn't that much older than him. But like, everybody has their own wants and needs, and maybe, okay, sometimes there's a girl we both go, oh wow, you know, and okay, so then one guy gets her and one guy doesn't. That's just how it works. Let the girl figure it out. It's not on you. So we didn't really clash, you know. Now, another thing he said was Thailand is more popular now than ever before. And I don't know how to take that, really. You know, honestly, I think about it and I think, is that true? Now, think about something. We're just out of COVID, what, a year and a half, 2 years? We're out of COVID, right? And Thailand is very popular now. God damn it. Hang on. How's about now? God damn it, man. You know, I just don't have good success with audio. I mean, yeah. How's this? Is that better? When I use this thing with the voice recorder on my phone, it works just fine. I don't have any problems. Nothing's scuffed. Nothing's. It's better audio than the just the phone mic. But so I don't know. I mean, I have to check these because this last one, I don't know what happened. It just didn't seem to be working very much. But you are easily understood. Glad to hear that. A lot of people don't understand me. All right. Well, hopefully this will work. And we'll be all right. Because I don't feel like messing with it. So where am I here? Okay. Yeah. He seems to think that Thailand is more popular now than ever before. Now, is it more popular with Westerners who want to become expats? I would say the number of American and British and Australian expats has not increased dramatically in the last couple of years. The tourists have increased, but expats, I don't think so. And this is something that we need to differentiate between because, a tourist is different than an expat. Coming here to visit is much different than living here. Night and day almost, you could say that. And I think maybe, there is an increase, but I don't think it's nearly as dramatic as what he seems to think. And obviously, during COVID, things went down quite a bit. More tourists are visiting Thailand now. And in the past, there were more American tourists than now. And this may change, but this is tourists, not expats. With regards to the expats, like I said, I think it's just a slight increase. And actually, I think, what's happened is there are a lot of Chinese, uh, Indians, Russians, maybe Arabs. I don't know so much about, the Arab countries, how many people are coming over here. But, most of the time, nobody bothers me. I don't get a hard time from anybody here. So I don't really care who is here. But I can tell you that as far as, it's so much more popular. Yeah, I mean, if they get 50 million tourists, that's amongst the best in the world. You're closing in on France, which is the number one tourist destination in the world. I don't know what the number one expat destination is. Let me see here. Maybe it's Mexico. I don't know. Let's see here. Panama. Well, this is the top country to live. It's not necessary the uh, yeah. This is just a poll where they rank. Um, Let me see here. Let me put it to you a different way here. It's Western expats that we're thinking of. Okay, Thailand is one. It's home to a large community of Western expats. Yes, Dubai, Singapore, Mexico City, Lisbon, Portugal, Barcelona, Spain. Now, why are they not saying Panama? Ho Chi Minh City. Okay, it doesn't say anything about Panama. Let me see something else here. I guess the point is, yes, it's increasing, but I don't think it's dramatically increasing. And there are some people who still think, screw Thailand. They want so many things. I mean, if they pass this ETA and the tourist, what is it called? The fee, 300 baht fee. They pass these kind of laws. They make it a little more difficult. Then less people are going to come here. Less people want to deal with the bullshit. And bullshit, to me, does not necessarily mean you've got to do red tape, but what it means is you have to do frivolous activities. To me, the 90-day report is frivolous. I don't know why they need that. It's just like, oh, we got to do it. To me, the TM30, frivolous. There's a lot of things in Thailand that I don't understand, and I just do them because, yeah, they're a little bit of a pain in the ass, but they're not that, they don't affect me that much so that I'm okay. I'm fine with it. Now, if they did something dramatic and they said, oh, you've got to show that you have 3 million baht in the bank if you want to live here, because our country is, a high income country, I'd be like, I think that's too much. I think they're full of it. What do you guys think? Another thing that he says is that older expats are jealous of younger expats. And I will say jealous of what? Not every 50 to 75-year-old living in Thailand wakes up and heads for the bar. Not all of them are going out going, you got to get me a girl, man. They don't care. And they don't care really. They want to have a good time. They want to have fun. But generally, as you get older, it's more about, hey, I want to spend time with my friends. And if you go somewhere like I went to Vietnam to hang out with my buddy, and then it just happened, my wife was like, oh, okay, we should bring the whole family. And I was like, okay, fine, up to you. You want to come? Let's go. But I went there to hang out with him. We had experiences there we will never forget. Just like we had experiences in Cannes, France. We'll never forget. You know, that's what is important to me. It's not important, am I going to go out and find this hot chick? I already did that. What do I got to do it over and over and over again for? I did it over and over again when I was young. I'm not young now and I'm married. And I don't care about that. I care about I've got a good relationship with my wife. We're best friends. You know, we care for each other. We care for our kids. And our family is tight. That's what I care about. It's a different set of priorities. Now, there may be a small percentage of men who live in Pattaya, and I dare say in Bangkok, some places where they wake up and they go, "Oh, I'm gonna go see, I'm gonna go see my girl down at the bar, and I'm gonna go have a couple of drinks, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning." You know, they may very well do that. That doesn't make them a loser, unless they're an alcoholic and they don't want to stop, and that's all they do with their life. Okay, that's a bit different. Some of us have hobbies. Some of us have real lives. Lives where we're not just living in a bar or living for women or whatever. We have complete lives. You know, I have a Fire Stick at the house. I have too many channels to even contemplate watching. I mean, literally thousands of channels. You name it. HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, Movie Channel, whatever it is. You name it, I can get it. And how much time do I spend watching TV? An hour or two, maybe, at the end of the night. When I'm tired, I've done everything I need to do on the computer. That's what I do. But I'm not. When was the last time I went to a bar? The last time I went to a bar was probably in the CASHAPP when I went with my wife. And we had, what are they, Blue Hawaiis. That's it. She goes out, she doesn't even drink unless she's with me. She goes out with her crew. She went out yesterday. She went to the place where I recommended that I had mahi mahi, and it was like $10 for a kilo of mahi mahi in front of you, and then some potato salad, a salad, and then a drink. It was like $10, right on the beach. They cook them. They cook the mahi mahi over coconut husk. and it was fantastic because I don't get to have that very often, and so I wanted to have it. So when we went, that's what I did. I told her, you should go to that place. I told her exactly where it was, exactly how to get there, and told her to look for the coconut husks. So that's what she did. She told her team that she works with, hey, I know this place. So that's where they went. And they all sat around, and there was beer, there was wine, there were mixed drinks, there was of course fish and everything else. I said to her yesterday, how much did you drink? I had 2 small beers. That was it. She's like, I don't want to get drunk. I sit here watching people getting drunk, and I'm like, I just don't want to do it. So maybe she's getting past the stage of, oh, I've got to go out and party. I don't know, probably, but she'll go out and party with me, so, as far as being jealous, I don't get it. I mean, okay, if a guy wants to be jealous, that's on him. It's a personal thing. I mean, I see some guys and I go, man, that guy's got it made. Oh, what a life. But I'm not jealous of him. I'm like, good on him. Good for him. I mean, I see all YouTubers out there, and I see some YouTubers, and to me, they're like dorks. Or maybe some of them might get it. I go, I understand why this guy's got, 8 million subscribers. But am I jealous of them? No, not really. I mean, I'm not jealous like, oh, I wish that could be me. Fuck him. He shouldn't be there. Nah, man. You get what you get. And if you get lucky sometimes, and if you put in the work, things happen for you. So as far as jealousy, I don't really get what he's saying. But one day, he will be old. I'll be dead and gone, and he's going to be old. And maybe he will change his perspective. Because I don't think I'm jealous. I mean, I might be like, wow, that guy's got a good thing going, but that's about all I think. Another thing he says is that dating is different now than in the past, and that is very true. He says, oh, the scene here is changed dramatically. It's so culturally different now. It's not that much different, buddy. I hate to tell you. It's not all that much different. The difference is, hey, what are you doing? It's not that much different. Oh, thank you. It's not that much different. The difference is now you have online. This generation has online. They have Tinder. They have Thai Friendly. They have whatever else. Okay. I personally wouldn't use them. I've never used them, and I wouldn't use them. I mean, I guess maybe if I was on Facebook and somebody hit me up and I went, oh, she's kind of cute. Maybe then I would do it then. I don't know. But I wouldn't go out of my way to do that. And he may think that when you were 30 years ago, 40 years ago, that the girls never dated without getting money from guys. That's just bullshit. I mean, I was young once also. And, so there's online dating and there's apps, and the young generation here in Thailand tends to speak better English than in the past, like when I first came over here. And it's much easier to communicate. So that's true. I mean, it is different. Uh, the reason some men simply go to bars and engage in pay for play is because it's much less hassle. There's not a hassle. And, I hate to say this, but, most guys, I don't care how old they are, if they're just going to sleep with a woman, it's not like this full bore relationship where, oh, I love you, baby. Oh, I love you too, honey. It's none of that. It's just, like, hey, where you come from? What's your name? Okay, yeah, I'll go with you. They want women with less wrinkles. That's what it is. None of my friends ever wake up and go, oh, let's go to the bar, man. I don't have friends like that. Now, maybe I've outgrown it. I don't know. Um, None of my friends are involved in pay for play on a regular basis. like, they're going every week, 3 times a week, and they're just because they want a piece of ass. No, maybe once or twice a month at that. If they do that, some of them don't care. I don't understand it, because I care, because maybe because I've been married so long, I just kind of expect it to be part of my life. I don't know. And if they are involved in it, they keep it to themselves. They're very what's the word I'm looking for? Discreet. Most don't want to find a woman that is, if they're 70 years old, they don't want some woman that's 70 years old. Oh, she's my best friend, and oh, I'm so attracted to her. I mean, that for men, I don't think that happens all that often. Carlos, how you doing? Good to see you here. How's everything? We are talking about old expats and young expats, and how this one particular YouTuber thinks that the old expats hate the young expats, which I kind of disagree with. Although, there may be the occasional person trolling him or giving him a hard time about something, which, that happens. That happens to an old guy. It happens to me. You know. Um, Now, what I could say is, not one person that I know is married to a girl who she worked in the bar. I mean, well, I think there's one or two guys I know who they may be involved with someone, or they are involved with somebody who was a bar girl, but they still have their relationship. It's still going strong. That's not something that's usual, and it comes from them having experience, the men having experience with women, and knowing how to handle them, knowing how to deal with them, knowing about, not caring about what they did, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. But I don't know many that are. Most of my friends are either not married, or if they're married, they've been married for a long time. You know, um, when I first came here, I had no idea how, like, you were supposed to go out with women here. I didn't know how dating worked. I would just see a good-looking girl, and I would just go, "Hey, you want to go out? You want to go do something?" And it took me a little while before I learned how to be a little more smooth. Um, and it did get easier. But that's because there are certain things that you can say here that if you said them in, like, Cambodia, maybe they wouldn't work. Certain things you say in Cambodia that work. Maybe the Cambodian girls, they'll look at you and they'll go, "Oh, he's very cute." Then you say the wrong thing. I don't want nothing to do with this guy. You know. So you have to figure out where you are and how things work first. Um, yeah, but if I had the urge, if I really needed to be with someone, if I was like, "Oh, I'm really lonely today. Oh, I need to get myself I didn't usually go to the bar if I was lonely. I just said, "This too shall pass." And occasionally, I meet a girl for whatever reason. They were the one who was saying to me, don't worry, I will pay. You no pay. No money. No, you don't have to spend money." And in that regard, it was like having a sugar mama. I did have one who used to pay for everything. And then the thing is I said to her, "Hey, I got some problems with my income. Things are not happening right now. Now, it's not, I have to really buckle down, and I don't think I can do anything. I'm not going to be moving. I'm not going to be getting a place that's, like a full-on house where I can live." And that's what she wanted. Once she heard that, she took off. She was gone. And I was like, "Oh, man." But then I remembered, the one thing that saved me is I remembered that, some girls will stick around and some girls won't. And, from what I've heard now, the working girls are far more mercenary than they were in the past. Like I said earlier, in the past, you met some girl, you'd start talking to her. And I mean, I remember meeting one girl, and she said, "Hey, you want to come over to my place?" I said, "Yeah, sure. Why not?" Went over to her place, and we had food. And then she said, "You can spend the night." I said, "Oh, okay." but no hanky-panky. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And, I wasn't trying anything. In the middle of the night, there was hanky-panky, and then it turned out that, for a while, we had a little thing, we had a little thing going on. But if I were single, I would definitely not use Tinder or Thai Friendly or go on Facebook. Oh, I don't have a girl. I got to find myself a girlfriend. I don't understand it. Now, maybe I'm old and, I'm past my expiration date and, not many women would want me anymore. I don't know. I don't think so. But I can tell you that I certainly wouldn't be getting 22-year-olds. And if I did, I would think to myself, they just want the money. They're out for the money. Now, another thing. Some old expats, they might be living off of a small pension. Maybe it's $800, $1,000, $1,200. But the thing about older men that this guy doesn't seem to think about, or he thinks it's not important, is that many older men, they have money. They have money stashed. They have money in their savings. They're well off or fairly well off compared to some guy who he's like, oh, I got $5,000 to my name. And once that's gone, I got to go back home. I got to try to keep that money coming in. It's what I would say is it's relatively easy to date Thai women, even now, if you're young, first of all. But if you're young, then it's easy. You just have to be clean. You have to smell good, have some manners. And if you speak a little bit of Thai, that doesn't hurt. And you aren't butt ugly. If you're older, um, older men are at a different stage in their lives and tend to have more money than younger men. It's just as simple as that. If you're just out to have fun, money may not be the issue. If you want a serious relationship, um, smart girl wants to know that her man can at least contribute to their relationship, especially if you have children together. Um, if you plan on having children together, she wants to know, hey, this he needs to be able to foot the bill in case something's wrong with me. And I need to be able to foot the bill in case something's wrong with him. And that's something I thought about with my wife. I thought, I had a choice, this girl or that girl. And I chose my wife. And I chose her because there were some times in the beginning with her where I really had very little money. I mean, I was like buying macaroni and cheese and hot dogs and just to make sure that I was going to eat. And I never asked her for money. Not back then. And she stuck around. And she was smart. She was educated. And so I said, this one or this one? This one left me because I didn't want to spend money because I was, and this one stuck around. So which one would you take? It was an easy decision for me. The other thing he says, older expats seem to have hostility towards younger expats. Well, maybe that's because some young expats are just dickheads. I mean, it's true. Some old expats are dickheads. I don't know. Maybe it has nothing to do with the age. It just happens to be how people treat each other. But we live in different worlds. Me and this guy, we live in a different world, man. I have nothing against younger expats. I think if you're here for 20 to 30 years, 50 years, and you're older, you tend to have a lot more life experience and generally more experience in Thailand, and that counts for something. You may be able to speak the language a little bit better or a lot better. You may be able to, write in Thai. Okay, great. But somebody who's been here, somebody like me, listen, 9:44, boom, right on the dot. I would say very seldom, rarely does a guy who's been here for a couple of years ever outshine somebody who's been here for 30, 40 years. Now, they might. but I'd say rarely. So maybe this guy is that rare exception. I don't know. I'm not trying to put him down in any way, but nothing beats life experience. And then if you've got experience in Thailand, you know, Suckerhorn said to me once, "You have forgotten more than most guys ever learn here." And I thought about it, and I didn't really say, "Yeah, okay." But then I think about it, and I think, yeah, sometimes I forget, like I don't remember where I went, and I go, "Shit, I went to that place." Back when I was this old, I went to this place, and I went there 2 times, and I forgot all about it. Scott, I met an expat yesterday that has been here for 23 years and does not speak any Thai. He refuses to try to learn. That's a damn shame. To me, that's a damn shame. Because what that means is I don't respect your culture enough to try to at least be able to communicate with you in your language. And I know there's another guy in Pattaya, Fred. His name is Fred also. He's been here for a while. He used to be a member of my site. And now he's been here probably, I don't know, 6 to 10 years. I don't even know. Maybe 8 years, we'll say. And he comes up with some stuff sometimes. He's got such a hard-on for Thais. And I'm like, then why are you here? Because I can't live anywhere else. Now, he might be the kind of guy who has a big problem with young expats. He might be the guy who's jealous. There are some people like that, for sure. And this guy, I said to him, you don't speak any Thai? I will never speak Thai. Fuck them. That's his attitude. And to me, I'm like, well, even if you are a little harsh against Thais, and sometimes I know I can be harsh against them. And I can say when I was younger, I was more harsh than I am now. Because now I look at it as you just got to understand people live differently. People generally want the same thing, but they might approach it from a different angle than you approach it back in the U.S. or the U.K. or wherever, in Australia. And the thing is that who are you to say that your way is the best way? It might not be the best way. It might be the best way. But who are you to just go, my way is the best, and we're in Thailand, but you know what? I want you to do it my way. It's like, most Thais go, fuck off. They don't care about your way. They care about you're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. You're in Thailand. And listen, if I went to Vietnam and said I want to move to Vietnam, I would not expect everything to be done the same way as in Thailand. Why would I? Different country. If they were the same, you might not be calling Vietnam, Vietnam. You might be calling it Thailand. And vice versa. Crazy. But guys who don't ever want to learn the language, to me, that's kind of stupid. Let's see here. I mean, it's almost impossible not to pick up some, even after several months. Yeah, I mean, I know a couple of people who don't speak a word of freaking Thai, and to me, it's foolish. Here in Easton, I've noticed that they will work enough to buy beer, food, and pay bills, not to save for tomorrow, only living for today. You mean the Thais or the foreigners? Because in Isan, that is the farmer's mentality. We've got enough for today, we're fine. And it also is the mentality, their mentality is, don't think too much. Yeah, kid mak na. Don't think too much. And you're like, wait a minute, I've got to think about this if I really want to get ahead. I mean, if you want to get ahead, my wife is from the South. She's not from Isan. And she is always thinking about the future. I mean, to the point where I'm like, oh my God, enough already. I mean, sometimes I just tell enough. Right now it's 9:30 at night. Let's just relax, watch TV, have a good time, and tomorrow when we're fresh, we'll talk about it. Okay? Okay. And it's hard sometimes for her to stop that. And that's how some ties are. I would say a lot of Isaners, they're not thinking about, maybe they buy a piece of land, but they buy it because I've got the money right now. And that will help me so much. Maybe, you know, I don't think it's a great way to live your life. And, for the majority of my life, I kind of lived it that way. I got plenty of money right now. I got money coming in. What am I worried about? Now I'm like, I got to have 3 to 6 months stashed. I've got to have $1,000. I've got to be saving for something. I've got to be thinking about things. I have to, because my years might be limited. I just think if I live another 20 years, how do I want to live? I don't want to be the guy who wakes up and oh, let's go have a beer, man. I'm sitting around with my buddies at some table having a beer with them or having beers. That's all I do. I just drink beer. I don't want to do that. What kind of life is that? I say sometimes I get burnt out and I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to walk as much. That's true. Because it's bloody hot out there. But I still get 10,000 steps in. I still sometimes walk 25, 30,000 steps. And I think about what am I going to do in the future? That's something to think about. First of all, the goal is to be well off financially. And that might take another 2 years, I'll say. I thought at the end of this year, I'll just stop streaming. I'll, make a video once in a while, stream once in a great while. I don't think that's going to happen. Because I need to reach my goals, And that's the thing. Do you have any goals? If you ask a Thai, how much money do you make and how much do you spend? A lot of them will go, I don't know. I make enough to cover my bills. They don't know exactly what they're spending money on. They're about 7 million baht, that's about $220,000. And we're in Bangkok. Some are right around here. Some are a little farther away. And I don't know what's going to happen with that. I personally would like her to wait as long as possible. Because she gets bonuses at work. And I'm just like, listen, you can take this bonus money. And we have absolutely no debt. We are debt free. So all we have to do is pay for a place to stay, pay for electricity, water, food, maybe internet, And we don't have that much in bills. I'm like, we can go wherever we want. Think about that. If you got a house, you're kind of tied down. Especially if no one else is paying the bill. If we're the ones paying the bill. So, guy down the street went fishing all day, came home and sold all his fish and made close to 2,000 baht. He had a shitload of fish. He did not work for a week, drank, and was drunk every day. Wow. That's just how some people, that's how they are, And I wish it wasn't that way. But, here's the other thing. He went fishing again. The other thing is that, I don't really worry about changing other people. If that's how he wants to live and he's happy, okay. It's like that in America too, so it's not just Thai people. I think in America, most people don't even have like $500 in their bank account. Or, they've got a credit card and they're charged to the max and they just don't know what else to do. And so they're in a position where they are debt ridden and they don't know how to get out of that situation. So they just keep doing it every month. And, maybe one day they get out of it, but maybe they die in debt. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't lived in America for, 30 years. That's the thing. I mean, honestly, it's like, when you say old and young, when a young guy says, oh, well, I've been here 2 or 3 years and I might know more than this older guy. Well, that's true. Okay, you might not. That's also how many times that you go, have you been to Chiang Rai? No, I never been. Have you been to Suratani? No, I never been. Where have you been? I went to Pattaya and once I went to Singapore. That's it. They haven't done anything. They haven't traveled anywhere. And for some people, traveling's important. For some people, it's not. It's less important for me. To be honest, it's not as important as it used to be. If I was home all the time and I just traveled around Thailand a little bit, I'd probably be fine. I wouldn't really care. And now I'm starting to say, okay, if I travel internationally like once every 6 months, that's fine. But like once every 2 months, travel around Thailand, that's fine. That's for me, that's fine. Because I can't stand going through airports anymore. It just doesn't. I don't get a woody when I go into an airport like I used to when I was young. But, think about 30 years ago what it was like, 35 years ago, say 40 years ago when I started traveling. Think about what it was like 40 years ago and then think about what it's like now. I mean, there was no TSA. Most of the time you just walked onto the plane, showed them your ID, walked onto the plane. It was easy. And, I've said this before, but sometimes, this is about 40 years ago, about, 35 years ago. But I used to go into the airport, get all my stuff, everything was prepared. And I would walk onto the plane. I would look around. And if there were business class seats open, I would sit down in the business class seat, just like I owned the place. Yeah. And sometimes, they caught me. Oh, can you get back in your seat, sir? Oh, yes, okay. Sometimes they wouldn't catch me, or sometimes maybe they just let me sit there. I don't know. But I did that probably 4 or 5 times where I just sat wherever I wanted. And I didn't get any shit. Now, if you do that and you get caught, they're like, they're going to warn you. You need to get back in your seat, buddy. Why are you sitting up here? Oh, I'm sorry. And, you come off like a dumbass. I didn't want to pay for this seat, but I'm sitting here. Sir, we need to do a strip search. Looks like you have a dagger in your pants. Yeah, make sure the hot TSA agent gets to strip me down. Which, how often do you see a hot-looking TSA agent? Doesn't happen. I don't ever remember, and I have not seen all that many TSA people. But how many times have you ever seen a truly hot TSA person? I have never seen one. Okay, so now they're getting ready to bring everybody in, like always. Let's see here. What else do we have? Let's see here. We live in different worlds. I am 40, but I feel much more connected to younger expats. Have much more in common with them, and many are more open to travel off the beaten path and not set on their own ways. Okay, I can understand that. I mean, you're talking to somebody who's in his 60s, and I've done a lot of things off the beaten path, man. Quite a few, more than most young expats. But so what? There's some young expats that have traveled over. They've traveled to almost 200 countries. I haven't. That's just the way it is. You know, I've traveled enough now where I feel like I can say I've I've done my fair share of traveling, and that's good enough for me. I don't care about how it compares to anybody else. It doesn't really matter. What if you think about comparing yourself to others? Yes, okay. If you're talking about statistics in like baseball, you're talking about statistics in, um, football, or how many punches are you throwing in a round? Well, yeah, the statistics generally they make sense, but not always. And that's the thing. Like, does anybody care that I've been to 50 something countries and that this other guy's been to 100? No, I don't think so. Yeah, my first time flying. Oh, I'm so scared. Can you hold my hand? You know, first time in business class. I know some people who never ever have flown business, never have flown first class, and you know what? So what? I've just got lucky a couple times flown business class. I've got lucky a couple times flown first class, and sometimes I've used my frequent flyer miles to fly business class. But at the end of the day, listen, as long as you're happy with yourself, what does it matter what anybody else thinks? I mean, that's the big thing when you get older. That first time getting caught. Oh, God. I really was not aware that I wasn't supposed to sit in this seat. I thought you could sit anywhere you want. Oh, God. I think that my mother used to tell me, don't compare. And I'd be like, Mom, I'm playing tennis against this guy, and this guy kicked my ass. She's like, yeah, okay, but don't compare to him. Compare to yourself and get better. I was like, what? No, this guy kicked my ass. Because I used to think I was pretty good at one time when I was young. And then some guy kicked my ass and beat me like 6-0, 3 sets in a row, and I like scored like 2 points against him, and that was luck. Oh, you know what? I forgot to say this. I forgot all about it. Happy Halloween. It's Halloween today. They have a few things up here. Some of the people are dressed up. They've got, little masks on, and their face is painted or something like that. For the most part, not many people take part in Halloween. And I don't see anyone going trick or treating. Now, I'm sure that there are some expats who have set something up somewhere where their kids can go and trick or treat. I'm sure that they do that somewhere. But I don't really know where that is because I don't really care, and my kids don't really care. You know, watch a video of a tour of a house in a resort place. Hua Hin, 2-story, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, pool right out the door. Thank you. You like my costume? Robert, I wouldn't live in Hua Hin. Would not do it. I am an American in Bangkok. Can't you tell? Do you not know? 42,000 is pretty cheap. It's not that Hua Hin is pricey. It has nothing to do with it, really, for me. 42,000 is not pricey when you look at 2-story, 3-bedroom. First of all, I wouldn't want a 3-story. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's a little small. It needs really, for me and for us, it needs to be 3-bedroom, 3-bath. Because there's a main bathroom, there's a bathroom for the 2 bedrooms, and then there's a bathroom for the master bedroom. To me, and I said this a couple years ago, and I've been saying it for years now, for about 3 years. It was 3 years ago that I went to Hua Hin, and I remember this because I went with Patty and Bob, and I went with 2 Quarters Korean, And we went with Patty, Bob's girlfriend of the day. And we stayed at the Hilton. And we were walking around, and I just remember thinking to myself, look at all this traffic. And then it was so polluted, and I was like, Jesus Christ, air pollution, traffic congestion. And it's not like it used to be. And I know some of you don't know, and you may look at this place and go, oh, wow, it's so fantastic now. Well, it ain't shit compared to what it used to be. It used to be the Thai place to take a holiday. They would go for 3 days. It'd be a 3-day weekend. That's where the Thais would go. Now, not so much. And there were not many foreigners there. And that's when I started going. And I was like, oh, it's great. Wow, what a nice place. Now I went there and I go, man, this place is fucking overridden with tourists. I don't like that. I hate to say it. Generally, I don't like tourist destinations because there's too many tourists. Now, when I went to Vietnam, I went to a couple tourist attractions, and my God, they were overrun with tourists. But I went because some of the places were the kind of places that you go at least once, just to check it out, to see if it's a good place to go. I went to the French Village. Literally thousands of Koreans there and Chinese. Now, did they get in my way? A little bit. But, I got in their way too. So it's all equal. It doesn't really matter. Yes, I was a tourist there. Now, if I wanted to go for a less touristy experience, I would go somewhere where I know there's not many tourists. And I do that quite often. The south of Thailand, just south of Krabi, is still untouched. I don't know about untouched. Less frequented, okay. But, yeah, I don't know that it's untouched. Krabi, that area around Krabi, maybe, farther south, I don't know. I need to look at a map, actually, because I don't know what is... Let me see here. Oh, the mud crab sculpture. Yeah, well, first of all, I like the South better than I like Isan, better than I like Chiang Mai. That's just me. Not everybody feels that way. However, the South people just superficially are not anywhere near as friendly as Isan people. They tend to laugh a little less. They tend to smile a little bit less. It's a sculpture. Yeah, I've been there, actually. I have been to this place. Um, and they're the kind of people that you don't want to get into a skirmish with them. You really don't want to get into any kind of skirmishes here. But you don't want to get into any kind of problems in the South because you never know. Some of them might just kill your ass. You don't want problems. Most of the South people, man, they are so friendly. Like I hang out, I go down to the South and hang out and go to certain places around the house and, wherever else we're going. People are extremely friendly. But it takes a little longer to get in with them and get them to talk to you and, um, to become close. Yeah, I don't know. What is this? So this is all Krabi right here. Long Beach. I've been, Kosaboya. Oh, if you go to Kosaboya, that is where my wife and I went when we first started going out, I don't know if we were married then or what the deal was. We went to this island, Kosovoya, and I rented a 2-story bungalow for 500 baht. And we were right on the beach. You know, it's just the beach. Boom, there's the bungalow. And there was only about 30 or 40 people on the whole island. There was one restaurant, and that was it, really. There wasn't much to do. You could go swimming, you can go walking around the island, you could go to the restaurant, you know, you get yourself a couple beers, and you could hang out in the bungalow, which is what we did most of the time. Uh, However, I don't think I would want to live there because there's nothing to do. I don't know now because it's been a long time since we went there. But, there's no Starbucks. There's none of that. I mean, it was basically deserted when we went. Now they've got resorts. I see this here, Saboya bungalows. Jesus Christ. How much are their prices? Let's see here. 547 baht. That's on Agoda. So I'm sure you could get it for a little bit cheaper if you really looked around. Racha Sunset Resort, 500 baht. But that was a place we just wanted to get away. We wanted to be alone. That's what it was. We wanted to be alone. We didn't want tourists around. We didn't want to think about tourists. We didn't want to think about any of this stuff. And so that's where we went. And that was a great time. If you ever want to be alone with your woman, I don't know, you might have to do a little research now because it's been a while, but I don't think they've developed that island very much. If you want to go somewhere that you can be alone, I mean, like, if you really want, late at night, you could be on the front balcony, you could be doing whatever you want. Nobody's going to see you. There's nobody around. So it's good for that. It's good to get away. But Hua Hin, forget about it. To me, Hua Hin is done. Even Prajuip, which I really like, it's overrun with people now, overrun with tourists. Anyway, about the older expats being hostile towards younger expats. If that's really your experience, well, I feel bad for you because there's no need to be hostile or nasty simply because someone is younger and you think, oh, they shouldn't do it this way, they shouldn't do it that way. Oh, they've got this young chick and I'm 65 and I got this old lady. That's what happens. That's what happens, man. Even my wife is 14 years younger than me. Listen, she's an old lady now. She's going to be old. I don't care. Because I've been with her since she was young. I know what it was like, so I'm fine, But you don't have to be, hostile. You don't have to get hostile or nasty. Old guys out there watching, you don't have to be hostile or nasty. You just remember that you're different people. Sometimes you have a difference of opinions, and that no matter what, you're just you're a person. He's a person. They're a person. Whatever. Female. She's a person, and they're allowed to have their own opinions and think for themselves. You may not agree with it, or you may agree with it. I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. Appreciate them for however they're thinking. Or if you want, you can go, okay, that's one way to look at it. All right. Okay, good for you. Sometimes I talk to a guy and I go, Jesus Christ, this guy just doesn't get it. But I don't tell him that. I'm just thinking, I want to see what happens with this guy. I want to see, is he going to do something with his idea or is he just going to, he's not going to ever do anything. He's full of shit, and that's the way it goes. So anyway. All right, so listen. I would say since She is still young. Well, she's and she'll always go, "Oh God, I'm old. I'm an old lady," and I go, "Shut up." Like I don't want to hear it. I'm like, I don't want to hear that negativity, even though I know, she is older. You just say nice things. You be nice to them, and generally, then you get along better. If I was to say, well, I'm old and I'm balding and, I'm chubby and, I'm not perfect. If I were to compare myself to other people, some young guy who's 22, he's fit. Guess what? When I was 22, I was young and fit, had hair, and I got plenty of girls. But I'm not 22 anymore. I'm 62, right? So it's all relative. It doesn't really matter. Comparing doesn't really matter. And I think that's where some of the problems occur, is that some of the old guys compare themselves to the young guys. What do you got to compare for? If you think about it, you probably want older women than the young guy wants. You probably think much different than he thinks because you have some life experience, unless you're a total dumbass. And I mean, I got to tell the story one more time for some of you who may not have heard it in the past, and then the stream is done. And keep hitting that like button, please. And this really irritated me when I saw it. It didn't really irritate me. It was more, I just went, oh my God. It was one of those things where I just shook my head. And I was like, I can't believe this. I went to Pattaya with the boxing team that I worked with. There was like 4 of us. We all went down there. We didn't have a great time because we had to take care of a few things. And it was kind of like, all right, whatever. And then it was, like, all right, let's just go out. And we didn't usually drink when we went out, because we didn't want to get, we didn't want to smash, and, we didn't want to have problems. But this one night we went out, we had a couple of drinks, and, we go back to the room, and, it was like, all right, we're leaving in the morning. Okay, see you tomorrow morning. I go up to my room. I don't remember what soy it is. Maybe it was soy 8, maybe it was 6, I don't know. No, it wasn't soy 6 or soy 8. It was, I think it was farther down. But I don't remember what it was. I never remember this shit. It was late. It was like, 2:00, 2:30, something like that. And I get back. I go up to my room, and for some reason, I just wanted to stand on the balcony. So I went out on the balcony. I'm standing there, and I just lean on the rail. I'm looking around. I see this guy walking around. Some of you may remember this. I see this guy walking around, just walking back and forth like he's pacing. And I'm like, okay, whatever. All of a sudden, I see this girl come racing up the street on a motorbike. She screeches to a halt right next to him. And this guy's like, where you go? I know you have man. Why you lie me? He's speaking like a Thai who speaks broken English. He's not even speaking to her. Hey, where did you go? What's happening with you? What's the problem? No. Where you go? Why you lie me? I know you. You bullshit. You big bullshit. And this girl is like, no, honey, I love you. Oh, only you, honey. I don't go, no. I go see my friend. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know what happened. I think they left, and, she calmed him down with the promise of getting it in, we'll say. Maybe he just went, he's pissed off. But he's like, oh, I'm going to get it in. Okay, fine. And they leave, and I think to myself, first of all, let me never be the guy who speaks in pidgin English because I'm around a Thai. Hey, you. Why you lie me? You big bullshit. I know you have man. Maybe you go suck cock. That was one thing I thought. I don't ever want that to happen to me. And second of all, I thought, this guy is probably 50, 60 years old. I never want to be 50 or 60 years old begging a Thai woman, begging any woman, to go with me. And also, like, oh, you, I know you have man. Oh, you have man. Well, if you think she is a man, then don't be with her, you idiot. No, I don't think so. Listen, I've been here 30 years. I don't talk like them. I speak in Thai. And if I got to speak in English, maybe I might, cut out a word once in a while, but that's it. It's not like, oh, I won't go, oh, me love you. Oh, you love me? Oh, baby. Oh, I love you so much. Oh, too much, too much. You my darling. Oh, why? Which is what they do all the time. Why? I just think of that, and I just think that is not the kind of person I want to be. Another kind of person I don't ever want to be is the guy who's sitting on a bar stool from morning to night. That's all I do. I have no hobbies. I have no life. It's just tomorrow I'm going to the bar. The next day, I woke up and went to the bar to have breakfast and a beer. Oh, I hate it. I hate it with a passion, man. And that's why any smart Farang, learn to speak a little bit of Thai. I mean, there is a thing, there's a way that the military teaches uh, its recruits, especially if you're like in the CIA or, you're in the military, like, maybe you're a ranger or something like that. They teach you to use functional, whatever it is, Thai, German, Spanish. It's basically the most used words. You learn to speak just from those words and those phrases. And it makes you functional. You can talk to them fairly easily. And they'll understand you. But speaking like a baby, I just think of it and I just go, what the fuck is that? Dallo, if I ever hear you speaking like that to a Thai, believe me, I'll say to you, what the fuck are you doing? Those guys who just drink every day after waking up and spend their retirement in the bars, that's a rough lifestyle. Yeah. And honestly, the booze part is one thing. I can understand wanting to have a drink every once in a while. I know people who are like, oh, no, I don't want to ever touch alcohol. Okay, good for you. But some people, they're like, all right, I just want to have a drink and be a little social and relax a little. Okay, I kind of understand that. Now, I can tell you, my wife and I, we've had 2 bottles of wine. In the last 2 months, we've had 2 bottles of wine in the house. We drank 1 bottle. We have another full bottle sitting in the house, and I kind of doubt we're going to drink it. We may drink it in another month or 2. So maybe we drink 2 bottles of wine every 4 to 6 months. And I look at that and I go, you know what? Okay, drinking wine, if you drink like 1 glass a day, it's supposed to be healthy. It's supposed to be good for you. But if you're drinking all the time, you're sitting there in the bar, oh, this is what I aspired to when I was a young boy. I can come to Pattaya and sit here and drink to my heart's content off my pension. And that's all my life is about. I just don't get it, man. I never speak to a Thai like that. I wonder if they speak to me like I'm a baby. It's probably the weed that makes me paranoid. I mean, your friend? It makes your friend paranoid? All right. So listen, I don't think I'm going to stream tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream tomorrow, Saturday, or Sunday. I don't know. I'm not sure because I'm living for today. I'm not thinking about the future. I have a couple of subjects picked out to talk to them about it. Just today, in general, no, expats do not hate young expats. Old expats do not generally hate young expats. Some do, but I think the majority, no, they don't really even care. My friend is paranoid. Yeah, well, that's what happens with some weed, I guess. And that's one reason I don't engage in it anymore, because I smoked a little bit of it a while back, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I just had a little bit and I thought, man, I don't like the way this makes me feel. And that's it. I don't do it anymore. I don't do that. If I drink, I don't even drink much tequila. Some of the tequila bottles that I have been given or that I bought, I've got like probably 5 or 6 tequila bottles left, and maybe half of those were given to me, half of those I bought. So if I have 6 bottles left, and I used to have maybe 12, but I haven't drank any of them in like 3 years. I've drank maybe a shot or two. That's it. So I'm not into the drinking thing much anymore. I'll never be an alcoholic. I can tell you that right now. It's never going to happen. My wife won't be an alcoholic, because if she ever started drinking too much, I'd probably kick her ass, because that's sometimes what people need, is a kick in the ass to say, hey, you're getting out of hand here, But I don't think she would. She's pretty good about, I only want a glass. All right, I'll have another glass, but make it a small glass, you know. Yeah, I don't really like non-alcohol. For me, I don't want to drink anything like that. I mean, if I want a beer, I want a Guinness. Maybe I'll drink a beer chang here. Um, it depends on where I am. I mean, I drank in Vietnam, and I didn't drink that much. We got what, 3 bottles of wine while we were in Vietnam, and the 3 of us, Alex and Nicholas, didn't drink. Ted, myself, and my wife. Ted and I drank a bottle by ourselves one night. We drank the first bottle, so that means you got 1 bottle left. Then my wife and I and Ted drank that bottle, and that was like 2-3 glasses each, which is about the max. And then we had another bottle, and my wife and I drank that on my birthday. So, it's not for everybody. And when you get older, yes, the hangovers are hard and they don't feel good. And to me, there's just I don't see the benefits. Think about it this way. Oh, yeah, 5 negatives today. Woo, thank you. At least I'm getting some negatives now. Holy shit. Thumbs down, baby. Unbelievable. Not that I really give a shit. It really doesn't matter. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about something. Maybe the Thai education system, maybe transportation in Thailand. I've got a bunch of other subjects. So that's what we're going to talk about in the coming days. So I think that's about it. That's it. We're done. It's all over. Click the like button, please. If you have not done so already, it doesn't cost you anything. Just hit the like button. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check the description below the video window. Whether you're on a TV or whatever you are, plenty of ways that you can help. CASHAPP, you just look for an American in Bangkok. Boom, it's there. Patreon, American in Bangkok. There's all kinds of ways. And if you don't want to help, I understand. You don't want to send a SuperChat. You don't want to help me achieve my goals. That's fine. Up to you. It doesn't really matter. You know, it's nice, but it doesn't really matter. Just keep watching. Share the video. Do whatever. That's fine. Up to you. All right. So that's about it. And I'm gonna say goodbye. My name is Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok, Bangkapi to be specific. Thank you very much. Does it meet the minimum requirement? I don't know. Let's see. No, it doesn't. But that's all right. Thank you anyway, there, Dallo. Appreciate it. Thank you, Gills. Appreciate it. Um, yeah. Anyway, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok, Bangkapi. To be clear, to be specific, and until next time, choke di leo jekan mai. That is good luck and see you later. That's my little catchphrase. That and we'll see. So take it easy and join me in the next couple of days when I have another stream. Alrighty, take care.